darkness whispers, the unknown calls, and you have answered. Welcome to a realm where fear is real and nightmares come alive. I am your storyteller, your guide through the shadows. Tonight's tale will test your courage and challenge everything you think you know about what lurks in the dark. So settle in, brave soul. The horror begins now. Slow, deliberate pace. I need to tell you something I've never been able to explain away, no matter how hard I've tried. I was 10 years old when my mother remarried. We moved into a new house, bigger, quieter, a neighborhood where the trees stood tall and the streets were always still, the kind of place that felt safe. At first, it was. Then came the night I heard it, a soft shuffling from inside my closet, the sound of fabric, brushing against fabric, as if something were slowly, carefully, moving between the hanging clothes. I told myself it was nothing, the house settling, the wind, but the closet door trembled, not from the outside, from within. The next morning it was open. Nights passed, then tapping on my window. Light, deliberate tapping. I checked for branches. There were none. Nothing close enough to reach the glass. One night, I made myself look. A pale hand, pressed flat against the window pane, fingers spread, motionless. My window was on the second floor. Soon after, my little brother started talking about a woman, a white lady, he called her. He said she sat at the foot of his bed at night and watched him sleep. He described her calmly, the way only children can describe something that should terrify them. I didn't know what to say, because she had already come to me, in my dreams. Tall, dressed in white, standing still as stone in a darkness that felt older than the house, older than the street, older than anything I had words for. Then one night, I wasn't dreaming. I woke, and she was there, standing at the foot of my bed, exactly as she had appeared in the dreams. Tall, white, motionless, her face turned toward me in the dark. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. When I finally blinked, she was gone, but my closet door was wide open. The worst night came during a storm. Rain against the glass, thunder rolling slow and low across the sky. I lay in bed listening to the house creak around me, telling myself I was safe, that nothing was real, that children imagined things. Then I heard the latch. My window, locked. I had checked it myself. Slowly, opened. The storm poured in. The curtains rose, and she floated through. She crossed the room without a sound. She leaned close to me, close enough that I should have felt warmth, close enough that I should have felt breath. There was nothing. Only cold. And then, she whispered my name. I screamed. My parents came running. The light came on. The window was closed, locked. The curtains were still. Nothing there. Nothing out of place. They called it a night terror, sleep paralysis, an overactive imagination. I never believed that. We lived in that house for 3 more years. I slept with the lights on. I checked the closet every night before bed. I never once felt safe inside those walls. We moved eventually. Life went on. Years passed. But some things don't leave you. Even now, when a storm rolls in after dark, I find myself sitting up in bed, checking the corners of the room. There are things we remember from childhood that we were never supposed to see. I was 8 years old. Every afternoon, after school, I rode my bike through the neighborhood. Same streets, same turns, same cracked sidewalks. It was the kind of routine that made you feel safe. But safety is often just ignorance dressed in familiar clothes. There was a house at the end of my block, a white house, quiet, with a long, shadowed driveway that seemed to stretch just a little too far back. And standing at the edge of that driveway, most afternoons, was an old man. He wore a hat, always the same hat. He never came close. He never crossed the street. He simply stood there and waved. At first I thought nothing of it. Friendly neighbor, old man with time on his hands. But then he started to know things, small things. He knew my bike was blue, though I had never told him. He knew my parents' names, though we had never been introduced. He knew my name. And he said it the way you say something you've always known. Not like he had learned it, like he had always carried it. I never thought to question it. Children rarely do. We accept the world as it is presented to us. We trust smiling faces. We trust waving hands. Then one week, he simply stopped appearing. The driveway was empty. The house was still. I told myself he was sick, or traveling, or busy. I told myself a lot of things. One afternoon, a woman came outside, middle-aged, tired eyes. The kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep. I crossed the street. Something pulled me there, though looking back, I wish something had pulled me away. I described the man to her, the hat, the driveway, the waves. She listened without blinking, and then she said, very quietly, "That sounds like my husband." I smiled. I said I hadn't seen him lately. She didn't smile back. She said her husband had died. Not recently. Over a year ago. She went inside. She came back with a photograph. I looked at it for a long time. The man in the photo wore the same kind of hat, the same build, the same way of standing, like he was waiting for something. But the man in the photograph had a long scar running across his face, pale, old, like something that had healed a very long time ago. The man I had spoken to had no scar. No scar. I handed her the photograph. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember walking home. I only remember the feeling of the world tilting just slightly beneath me, like a door opening onto a room that shouldn't exist. That night, it rained. I lay in bed listening to it, the way it always sounds at night, heavy, close, like the sky pressing down against the windows. And then, I heard my name, called from outside, low, slow, like someone had all the time in the world. It sounded like his voice. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stared at the ceiling and listened to the rain and told myself, it was the wind. My parents said it was the wind. I never crossed that street again. Years passed. Decades almost. And one afternoon, without meaning to, I found myself driving past that house. The driveway was empty. Of course it was. I slowed down without deciding to. My hands wanted to stop. My mind wanted answers. The kind of answers you spend your whole life pretending you don't need. But I kept driving. Because some questions are not doors you open. They are doors you walk past, again and again, feeling the cold that bleeds through the wood, hearing something on the other side shift its weight, and choosing, every time, not to knock. Some memories don't fade. They don't leave. They just sit quietly in the back of your mind, waiting to remind you that not everything that waves at you from a driveway is alive.